Okay, so the biggest one is going to be for Booleans is everybody kind of remember, kind of thinks about it in terms of what, the natural uh, way to use Booleans and what you would think about it is uh, kind of like this, where see everything is solids and they touch, and you're going to Boolean diff this, right? And then you're going to Boolean diff this, and there's Booleans, right? But the beautiful thing that the discovery for you and the aha moment for you is going to be the way Moy does Booleans with curves and stuff. So um, uh, we could do it. So, for instance, I told you it uses projection. So it doesn't have to be your cutting objects don't have to be right on it. You know what I mean? You can draw and see how it's off of the object and everything. Same thing with over here. Um, uh, when you do this, yeah, it's you see how they're all off of the object, but it's going to use projection. So for like this one, it's going to know that if you're in this window, it's going to project from here. So if I choose that and I do Boolean diff um, with 2D curves, I don't even need to, I don't need to sit around in place and try to cut on it. You were talking about cutting it in half. Either one of these other lines I did can be the same thing. So Boolean diff, um, where's my thing? There you go. There. I can go this one and I can diff that, which now has separated these two. And I can even do this one. And now there's these two. So that's just, there's your cutting and your splitting. And now you can just, you want to remember. So Boolean is for solids. So trim is for surfaces. So if I take this one, for instance, and I use trim, and I pick this as a trimming object, I see how I've trimmed it. The same thing as the Boolean. I can choose remove, or you can choose keep. That gives you the way to deal with it, right? Or I can just pick done, and now I've kept it all. But instead of ending up with solids, I've ended up with surfaces. So I've trimmed that solid with that piece. I can trim here and trim that and pay done to just not remove everything. And same thing, you see how there's surfaces instead of solids. So trim and Boolean is the way you're going to split stuff. And um, your discovery is that Moy works with the projection method. So depending on any one of these, uh, any one of these uh, views. I can go on the right side here. Now, the thing you want to watch out for is when you're using when with the projection thing, it does if it's inside of the object, it doesn't always fit it. So like if I want to trim that one, for instance, this way, and I choose trim with that circle, it's gonna it doesn't necessarily know what to do. You know what I mean? So actually, it did right there, but since the trim circle is not, if it was inside of this object, it wouldn't necessarily, sometimes it can have a hard time discerning which way the projection is working. So that's all you want to just pay attention to that. Anyway, I'll stop talking. Okay, talk later. Boolean trim projection.